Hi, welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at some O-rings, including a JoeFest exclusive from a Delta-17. So first, we're going to be taking a look at Delta-17 Shepard. He is the Delta-17 leader, and you can see how wonderful this artwork is. Now, this will be the second Delta-17 review that I do. I did 3 figures. Actually December 29th, my birthday. But we're going to take a look at these. We're going to open them up. Here you can see how it has everything that it has. These do run $25. You can get them at Delta-17's website. And I will post a link down below on it. And on the back here, I don't know why I did this. In the description is where I'll post it. So here you go, this wonderful artwork. You have the Delta-17 guys, and then you have the 2 different bad guy factions. And there are 2 different bad guy factions, and you got a small file card to explain who Shepard is, and I will let you pause that and read it if you want, because you guys have all heard me read. But we're going to take a look at this guy. Then we're going to take a look at Shadow Dragon, the enemy leader. All right. And again, you can see all his weapons right there. You can see his wonderful gray and red. You can think you probably might fit in with, let's say, the Crimson Twins, Crimson Guards, different things like that. So take a look at them there. And then the exact same thing here, except you have the bad guys back here, and then the cross cell. And then I will let you pause that if you want and read that file card. Again, you can get these on the website. And then the final one is just in this little package here. And this is the JoeFest exclusive, the Okami Elite Sentry. Now, unfortunately, Ken, Steve, I didn't pick up the original one. So this was a repaint for JoeFest in red and black, and he kind of has that red snake eyes look to him. So, but we're going to pop him open. We're going to take a look at him. And then we're going to go from there, and you guys can decide if you think that this is a good line. I can tell you, I thought from the first review that I did, the figures were really, really good. These are just a continuation because, like I said, I did get the whole line. This guy is new, along with the new T-hook that they use for the legs. So we'll talk about that a little bit when we get into this. But before we do, if you like this type of content, if you like this stuff that I give you, this is Delta-17. I will be doing more Delta-17. If you like G.I. Joe stuff, anything like that, please take a second. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop something like this. But rather than looking at me anymore and looking at what might come from Delta-17, oops, there went the microphone. Let's get into this. Okay, so I got all the figures out here, and let's take a look at everyone. And we're going to go over a couple things, and I'm going to do another video and show you how to replace a specific part. So, this is Shepard here. He doesn't have a skull as a face. Alright. So he has a mask. He's got his goggles. He's got his headset on. He's got his little knife. Obviously his plate carrier. I mean, this looks really, really good. So much detail, especially for an O-ring figure. He's got shells that are running around his leg. He's got his knee pads. Holster with a pistol. You can see that he's a black man. He's got a watch. Again, detail looks awesome. So, like any O-ring, and the feel of these feel like an original G.I. Joe. So you get like a 90-degree arm bend. You obviously get the T-pose. They do have swivel wrists, and the wrist can pop out if need be. Now, if you're new to O-rings, or if you're coming back to the O-rings, and you're running, what's the big deal about swivel wrists? It makes it so much easier to pose a figure. He can move back and forth. Knees bend. You can get his T-pose. And then you can get in the seating position. Now, you notice it can't be a full 90 or a full L. Now, this one actually isn't that bad. All right. So looking at the detail here, actually, I know I started to say, look at that sheen on it. So you get your goggles, your painted mask. It's got a scarf. I know it's called something. Someone's going to yell at me what it's called. Just a little bit of paint apps go really far, but all these pouches. All right. So what does he come with? Comes with his helmet, which is all molded in black. All right. And he comes with his nods. So they're pliable. I love the fact that they painted it red here just to give you a little bit. And they're going to plug on. That's the back of it. Plug on right there. So you can have it on. I guess if you want to flip it up, we can flip it backwards so it's in the up position. All right. He comes with what I believe is a shotgun. These weapons are really detailed, especially for being 1/18 scale. All right. So you would assume this is what the shells are here for. He has his M4. It's got a scope on it. It's got a nice little long barrel on it. But the detail is real nice, and I love the double magazine. Now, these do not come out, so don't try. Just the look of a double magazine like that, where they're taped together or pinned together, however they do it, is awesome. And as you can see, the weapon is sturdy. It has some flex to it, which is perfectly fine. It's not going to break because it's not brittle, but that looks awesome. And then he has the backpack. Now, what's cool about this is they give you a place to put the weapon. I would assume both weapons can fit on it at different times, so he's always going to be carrying one. So let's see how this helmet fits. Now, looking at it here, it's obviously already cut out to go around his headset there. So that thing just fits on nice and easy. No problem there. And if you like this figure and you like it in 6-inch form, check out Tony's Figs on Instagram. He did a custom 6-inch version of this, and it looked dead on. All right. So take the backpack, throw that on right there. And now we'll see how the weapons fit on. So it just plugs right in there. Now it's facing down. So now he can walk around with this weapon. Now, as I was saying about the wrist here, just this little bit of movement allows you to get into better posing positions. Knock the nods off. But they do have softer hands, so you don't have to worry about thumbs breaking. That's something great that all the new O-rings are doing. So I keep moving this back and forth, probably getting some people a little motion sickness. So you can pose them, get them into some shots. I don't know why I did that. Well, also, every figure does come with a stand. Now, you know my feelings on stands if you've been watching the channel for a while. My feeling on stands is different when it comes to 1/18 scale figures. I try not to use them, but some of them you're just not going to get away from. So there's your Shepherd. Again, looks really nice. Let's throw this on here. And again, with the little handle for what I believe is pump action. Look at that. And a lot of that has to do with just being able to rotate the wrists. But all in all, really nice. Okay. And does this fit on here? This one may not actually fit on here due to how big that magazine is. Yeah, so unfortunately, I don't think the M4 fits on there. I could be wrong. If I am, please feel free to tell me in the comments. All right. So now let's take a look at Shadow Dragon. So this is the leader. And that face mask is awesome. So he has his bunny ears. Or maybe it's his goal post for kicking field goals. That's what he lets his troops do when they're bored. But the detail on this is really nice. All right. Now he's got the nice little cloth cape. And again, it's going to have the exact same articulation. Head moves side to side, right? Up and down. Same as an O-ring. And from what I understand is these arms and this neck can all fit with the original G.I. Joe figures, not the straight arm figures or the ones that don't have the a neck articulation like this, because that would just, it wouldn't work. But you should be able to mix and match these with your original O-rings. All right. Again, no issues moving anything around. Right. So, but one complaint, and this was a complaint on my first video, is that some of these had an issue with the legs not going fully up. And that makes it really hard to put them in a vehicle. Something like the Stinger here, or even this HISS tank. But what they did do, and I appreciate it, is if you bought any figures, you can contact them and they will sell you these T-hooks. Now, I will do a separate video on how to replace that, so no one has to sit through this whole thing. And I will do it simultaneous with this one. So when this one goes up, you'll be able to link to that one also at the end of the video. Or I'll just put a link in the description. And I already did it here. Right? And you can see how perfect he sits now. And his legs were going up about the exact same high. Exact same much as Shadow Dragon. Alright, so you got this cape on the back. He comes with two swords that slide right on in here. So he can carry that on his person. And then he has this nice little weapon. Looks like it has a built-in suppressor. You got your stock on it. Extended magazine. It does look like it has a secondary handle. Alright. And I really like this weapon. This is awesome. So it's small enough that you don't really have to worry about carrying it or using two hands with it. But due to the hands and the wrist articulation, you can easily get it in there. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm moving back and forth. Way different doing a 1/18 scale figure than the bigger 6-inch figures. Alright. But when you look at this, the paint looks dead on. So good. Alright. No paint rub, nothing like that. They really did it the right way. They went to the right factory. Very happy for them. But you're probably saying, I don't like the cape. I hate capes. No capes. Now, I'm not a no cape person, okay? I am not from The Incredibles, although I absolutely love that line. They made it so you can pop this off and remove the cape. You can see there's two pegs for the cape. There's the holes for it. And then it just kind of can peg right back in. So let's say you have a vehicle and you need to use the hole in the back there to plug them into. Maybe you have them on Cobra Claw. You can take it off there and use it that way. All right. Okay, now we come to the Okami Elite Sentry. And this is the JoeFest exclusive. And I really did mess up not getting getting the regular one. But we'll take a look at this one. And he is very neat and interesting. So, very minimal paint apps. You got your red, black, and silver. But it all flows and works really well together. So, there you go. You have this, not bionic eye, but some sort of like binocular that he can see through. He's clearly some sort of ninja, as you have all these throwing knives. You got your throwing stars, Sai on the side here. And look at that, no paint rub, nothing at all. He clearly has a little toe for kicking, if that's what you're into. They should have done little knives on it. And on the back, you can see everything that he has now. If I am correct, I believe he is possibly a cyborg of some sort. So, you can see that. All right. So what does he come with? I gotta shut my door because someone is extremely loud. It's not my dog. And it's not my chair. All right. So he's got the swords that are gonna come out. Then he has the swords for hands. That's the right way to put it. The swords for hands. So these come right off. Then you just have these nice little wrist pegs and they pop right on. And I should have brought it up. Maybe I'll run down towards the end and go grab it. But these do work with your original O-ring bats, if I am correct. And I do believe that I am. So, now if you got the sword, and you want to throw the sword in his hand. So now he's kind of like one hell of a badass with swords and everything else. All right. And then you can see the backpack. See how everything kind of pegs onto it. And he also comes with this weapon. I knew he came with a weapon because it's on the backpack, which plugs right into the top here. I can't see over the... It just plugs in just like that. So again, he can hold everything on his person. All right. So let's pop this off. Throw the hand back on. And then put that in his hand, right? But it also can go like this. So that's pretty badass. So he's holding it like this, and then he lets his hand, which is controlled by his cybernetic eye here, pull the trigger. I just think that's pretty damn cool. All right, this is really, really cool. All right. So what I will show you here is, because he was a JoeFest exclusive, and this was the first run of figures, his legs were already fixed with the different T-hooks. All right, so you can see exactly how he sits. Again, he has pegs. It fits with the original Joe's, so it fits on your his tank. You can see they're hexagon. The one thing that I did notice is that they're kind of loose on it, which is fine because I don't want my original stuff snapping off. I don't want a peg snapping off. So I'm going to show you, see how they actually fit in this stinger really quick before we wrap this up. And again, if you're not into O-ring, then this probably isn't for you. If you're like, hey, I love O-rings, I've never seen your videos, why are they done like this? Well, I do it like this. Sorry, that was making a lot of noise. So you can see exactly how everything is firsthand, right, when you open it up. So here's the pegs on the back of the stinger. Now this is the one that recently came out. And you can see they fit on. Now, unfortunately, again, they are kind of loose. All right, where their pegs here fit a little bit better. Now, this is also the one that came out with Hasbro Pulse maybe a year and a half ago. And to see how they fit in here, pop these two things off. And should be able to get it in And why he seems like he's a problem to fit in. There you go. Boy, these things make a lot of noise, and rubber tires are way, way better. All right. His leg was catching the outside, so it's not that he doesn't fit. There he fits here. Now, I think it might be difficult to get the top on due to the fact that he has this little piece that's sticking up. So maybe he was the wrong figure to throw into a stinger. This is the wrong cable, because talk about the amount of sound that is ripping through your guys' ears right now. All right. So get that right in there. All right. So this is how he's going to sit. Now this is with the new T-bar that's in it. You can just kind of pop that down. Now, before anyone complains about it, that is how they all used to sit for the most part. That is why this piece is like that, because technically this was too high for him. All right. So there you go. That is the review of the Okami Elite Sentry JoeFest exclusive. The Shadow Dragon, their leader. And then Shepard, the leader of Delta-17. So now I have a guy to lead my my Delta-17, because they're not Joes. But they will go with my G.I. Joes, that is for sure. All right, let's wrap this up. All right, let me add a little to the end of this. So as I was trying to set these figures up, I did the second video. This piece here, where the swords go, it can come out, and then you can plug this into the back. So if you just want the swords to sit in here, like so, you can. I'm not going to fight with it, but that's how the sword's going. If you don't want to have the whole backpack. So there you go. Alright, so there you go. That is my second review of Delta-17. I grabbed one of the figures. I really do like these figures. My complaint that I had in my first video really only had to do with the leg and it not going up all the way. Alright. The fact that they have addressed that, you got to do a little work, but they're going to be addressing it at the factory going forward. That is what you want to see from a company that is just beginning. They weren't a Kickstarter. They didn't take your money ahead of time. This was all paid for already. So you put down the money, you get the figures. That simple. These are available now at the Delta-17 site, which I will drop a link to it down below. The one thing I did forget to mention is they have a couple figures. This guy is one of them that is built on a 4-inch buck. All right. So you have two figures, at least two figures that are 4 inches tall. The other ones are 3.75. That's the difference between the modern 4-inch figures or modern 1/18 scale figures and the O-rings. They are all built on the 3.75. This guy doesn't fit in all the vehicles because I tried putting him in a snowcat. I didn't realize that. All right. So he's just a smidge taller. I think that is absolutely awesome. We're not all the exact same height. And if you watch this channel before, you know I'm a short guy. That's life, right? So to see different height of characters, G.I. Joe Classified is notorious for it. I have no problem with it because, again, we're all different heights. Other manufacturers, they do one size. That's how tall they are because they're only using 3.5 bucks. Good buck, but eventually you're like, hey, this is all the exact same. Every single figure is the exact same height. But they did try and change it up a little bit with these figures. So if you are interested, check them out. If you're an O-ring guy, if you just think they're cool, then pick one up and just see if you like it. There's a lot of good O-ring stuff coming out. They're gonna fit with other ones, and I think that's absolutely awesome because even though right now I believe the adult collector space is mostly going to be 1/12, which is 6 inch, maybe 7-inch if you like McFarlane or a couple other lines, NECA. But there still is that segment that wants 1/18th. People still want O-rings. So people still want modern 4-inch. They're always going to be there. And the fact that we're getting some pretty good companies like Delta-17, you got Callsign Longbow who's working on it. Skeletron is going to be doing a couple. You got Operation Recall. You have Marauders. You have Eagle Force, which is by Fresh Monkey Fiction. Those are modern. There's O-rings. You can have all kinds of stuff. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here because some of you are going, oh my God, this guy doesn't shut up. And you're absolutely correct. But before you do, you've made it this long. Please take a second. And I don't know what I'm saying. Take a second. Social medias, A Punk with Toys. Go hit like. The Facebook group page, Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toys. Last but not least, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link to my first Delta-17 video right here. And down here, I think I can drop a link to the thing that I was talking about doing with the T-hook and everything. Take care now.